In this short video presentation, I'm going to show how to set up a Blackboard Collaborate Ultra session. And first, you're looking at one of my online classes from the previous quarter. I'm going to pull down and show you where to find it. First, you go to Course Tools, click on Course Tools, and there's the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open up the Blackboard Collaborate Ultra section. Now, here's sessions. Now, before we go any further, this is the default setting, or the default class or session, if you will. It'll always be there. So if I click on the little circle with the 3, it gives me the settings here. And here's the settings. I can join the classroom or the classroom setting. Here's the dial in. It'll never change the whole quarter. So if the students have this, they can always dial in from a phone, so they don't have to be logged into a class just in case they don't have good Wi-Fi. I can edit settings here. I'll show you in just a moment. There's some guest links. I'll show you in a moment. And I can actually lock the class. Like I said, this is the default classroom. We don't need to create it. We could just use this one if we want. Now, another important feature is this right here. If I click on this in this menu, the reason why it's important is because of the recordings. I suggest every session is recorded, so if a student does have to call in and does not get a chance to watch what you're doing, they can go back and watch it when they finally have access to internet. So we're going to go ahead and create a session really quick. Now, I can create a session using this button here or this button here. Either one does the exact same thing. When I create it, it's going to look similar. I can name it, and it's going to have the little circle with the 3 dots in the inside to do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and create a session called Learning is Fun. And now I have my name. I've created the session. There's a lot of data here. The first thing, I'm not going to join it. The first thing it gives, there's a new phone number to pin. Again, that's for this particular session. It also gives the guest link for this session. Now, simply if I click on this, I can copy them. And paste them wherever I want to send it to students. And I suggest that every time you create a session, you do create some type of response to the students to let them know. So I'm going to go ahead and save, and I'm going to show you a good place to do that. If I go up to course announcements, this will work for, go ahead and create an announcement. This will work for all the students except for the guest. And I can put in here what the session is, all about the session, and I can paste in here both the phone number and the pin and the website for the guest if the students want to access via guest. And then I can click right here and send copy of this announcement immediately to all their My Sullivan account. That's why I always tell students to always have that My Sullivan forwarded to their Gmail or whatever email they choose to use. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel this and go back into that particular Blackboard Collaborate Ultra session and show the remainder of the different types of information we might want to use to set up this particular class. So learning is fun, and if you take a look, there it is again. There's my session options just like they were here, or I can just go ahead and click on it. And now I'm not going to join yet, so there's the dial up and there's the guest link once more. So I'm going to pull down here, and here is the start times, and I can change the times and the dates, anything I want. I can make the session no end. That means it stays open the entire quarter, or I can repeat it. So I can have a session like, for instance, if I have a Tuesday, Thursday class, I can repeat it every Tuesday and Thursday, that particular session. I can use it maybe as a plus Friday, repeat it every plus Friday from 8 to 10 o'clock, or I can do a plus Friday where I can have a no end session. That means I can open up, begin the quarter and leave it open throughout the quarter and have office hours, if I will. Now, if you do that, you're going to have more than one class, and you might want to think about having your largest class become your office hours. That means you'll create one in your largest class and send the link and the phone number into all the other students. So the students they in essence are a guest to that one class collaborate. That way you only have to watch one session instead of having, if you have 5 classes like me, having 5 sessions open. You only have to monitor one for like a plus Friday. Early entry. I highly recommend early entry. It's kind of like a meeting. If you're having a meeting, you don't have the door locked until 10 a.m. and then unlock the door. Everybody's going to be coming in for the first 5 minutes or so. So same thing here. If I open it up about 30 minutes in advance, the students will log in, so it'll save a little time at the very beginning of that particular meeting because it can get a little bit difficult for some students. Now, here's sessions setting. Pretty much I leave everybody as just as a participant of the course. Generally, I do not allow or anonymize chat messages or download recordings, so I leave these as is. I let everybody have their picture, so I don't just show a picture of the moderator only. I'll be the moderator. And I leave these as is, share audio and share video. I kind of leave those as. And there's some more settings down here that I really don't touch. I let students post to the chat board. Sometimes I let them draw on the white board. You'll see later on in files. I can take that off if you don't want them to draw on the whiteboard. Most likely, even if you leave it on, they will not do that. And of course, I leave this as a telephone because I have it up here. I never know. A student might have to dial in because they don't have good access to internet or Wi-Fi, so I leave that always on. And I leave these off, private chat. Now, you can do those changes as well once you're in the Blackboard session, but I just leave them as is. So this is kind of how I leave it. So I kind of like my settings. If I like my 30 minutes in advance, and I like my dates and times for everything, close that setting out right here on my events details here. I'm happy with my Ultra Collaborate session. I go ahead and save it. And now I am ready to go in and have a Ultra Collaborate session called Learning is Fun.